Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming.
That's
a real
true.
pleasure to chat to you today. Huge congrats on the show. Wow. I loved reading that Neil Cross started with an impulse that he wanted to make a show he was really in the mood to watch, sort of a high-stakes Hitchcockian thriller under blue skies. And I feel like he's really executed that. Maybe it was a no-brainer for you guys. What was the appeal for you?
Yeah, the character of Iris. She's cool. She's very unpredictable. Gets herself into a huge amount of trouble and has to figure out how to get out of it. And yeah, I think Neil, obviously being so well known for Luther and the team behind it, and also filming in Italy, was a massive draw for sure.
And also I was a little bit initially just concerned that Cameron might just be just sort of bit villainy, and then after a couple of conversations with Neil, realised that their possibilities were endless, and that Neil's very open-minded and very collaborative, and and had yet to finish it. I'm not sure he was even halfway through it when they were starting to film it. So there was lots of. We all went on a big journey together.
And coming to each of your characters. I mean, yeah, Iris, she's sort of deliberately mysterious in terms of her backstory, and we're just sort of getting glimpses here and there. But I wonder, for you, did you almost have to kind of fill in those gaps for yourself to understand where she was coming from? I mean, she's definitely got this compulsion, with the solving puzzles, but, sort of her approach to people, maybe she's something, what is that, like a bad will hunting, kind of how she reads people.
That's a good way to look at it, bad will hunting. Yeah, I think with someone like Iris, who, Neil described as having a brain the size of a planet, I think your wants and needs change, and it's not your typical person. Yeah, with any character I play, you have to build a backstory in your head, even if it's never going to be seen. They have to exist and be real. So, yeah, I remember early on I sent a whole backstory to Neil when he was like, I hate getting backstories from actors. And he's like, but that one was okay. That was good. That actually, ticked a lot of boxes of understanding who she is and why problem solving is that, everyone's got a compulsion, evidently. But yeah, hers is problems. Yeah.
And like you say, Cameron, he's an antagonist, but he's not a clear villain. He thinks he's doing something for the greater good.
Quite right.
So how did you kind of find his, own motivation or rationalise his behaviour, perhaps for your own kind of way into the character?
Well, because I think he says, if I can't get this going again, someone's going to kill me. That's his motivation. So that was pretty simple. Yeah, I mean, it was all laid out for me in front. I did wonder how he'd originally come to be this person that's... and then we get to that in episode 8. And Neil, we talked about that a bit, and then Neil invented this amazing story, which the committed viewer will be rewarded with if they get through that.
You unlock
show.
that level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
But what's also brilliant is this sort of like relationship, this dynamic between the two characters, because it's sort of a love-hate thing, you sort of feel like, they're at one point completely at odds with each other, and at some point maybe you think they're flirting. There's a lot of witty repartee going between the two of them. Yeah. How did you kind of see this sort of rivalry between the two of them?
Well, they think they're very... I think Iris probably thinks she's very different to Cameron, but really they're more alike than they are different. And I think she sees herself in him and admires him. Weirdly, and that because she hates that. She hates that she admires him. But I think you're hardest on the people you love.
Yeah, I don't know. I was always very easy on you. I was not.
What?
I think
you tried to kill her like so many times throughout the whole thing.
No, Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it like a Billy Wilder thing, and there were one of those sort of comedies, and we had great. It was great. That's
very fun.
And if they'd been, you feel like if they were if the circumstances were different, they'd be very close.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that anyway. Niamh didn't.
I do. You said, when you watch the whole thing, you are rewarded.
Yeah.
And in terms of the takeaways, I mean, I guess you can kind of just sort of be transported to, a bit like when you're watching a James Bond movie, to these exotic locations and go along with the high-stakes thriller aspect. But, there's also this key question about what is our relationship with technology?
Exactly.
Is it something that's going to save us? Is it something that's going to destroy us? So, did you have some of those questions for yourselves?
That is what that goes to the heart of the show, for sure. And that's what makes the show interesting. I mean, I don't remember walking. Most of the time, you're just going, can I remember my lines for today? Not really going, actually, can we just stop everyone? I'm having a bit of crisis about the AI thing.
Let's open that conversation up.
Sorry, I can't film today. I'm in a terrible lather about AI, what it's going to do to society.
And you did that all the time. We were always behind.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Can't wait for everyone else to see the Iris Affair. Huge congrats on the show.
Thank you very much.